he got, it's a very long time to live in that period. He worked every day of his life from 15 to the day he died, and he was a huge influence on Vatican City. Okay, if you don't know, he was obviously a painter and a sculptor. Now you know he was a bit into fashion design. What you might not know is that he was also a poet, he was a philosopher, he was an inventor, and he was an architect. Okay, in fact, that dome is called Michelangelo's dome. That's because he is responsible for designing a large part of that church that you guys will walk through later on. Okay, since we can't get away from Michelangelo today, we are going to talk a lot about Michelangelo. I won't bore you to death with his life, but we are going to learn some interesting things that he's done. Just so אתה יכול לצלם? תבקש ממנו שיצלם את הנביא. Early 7th century, it was converted to a Christian church, right? Which is why there's an altar in there now. And tomato, whichever you prefer. So Mr. Tomato is here, they're all in Vatican City. The outer sphere represents
הכדור הפנימי מסמל את העיר, הכדור החיצוני את העולם.
Papal Chapel, okay? This explains why the Sistine Chapel is inside of the museums. The museums were the papal palaces and not inside the church. So it's their private chapel in their own palace, right in their house. In any case, when it's done in 1480, it has flat images of these side walls here. And they are all Florentine painters that are asked to come in and decorate. We have this man here, whose name is Iliad. He said, I am not a painter, I am a sculptor. I am 33 years old, I am well into my career, and there's no way you're going to get me into doing something I hate doing. I haven't painted in 20 years, I hate it. Julius II, the Pope, said, I don't care, do it. Michelangelo refused, okay? He fled to Florence back to the protection of the Medici. And as rumor has it, Julius II threatened to declare war on Florence had Michelangelo not come to paint the ceilings. This is the flood. Let's look at the creation of Adam one more time. Can you guys see one big difference between those two panels? Size? The size of the people. Look at the size of the people in the top frame. Very, very small. If you've never been in there before, the ceiling is very, very high. It's about as high as that top ledge on the building. So, of course, Michelangelo had to work up on top of scaffolding. So he finishes the first three panels after a year and a half of working. He's really, really frustrated, and he comes down to get a good look at what's going on. He looks up, and he is totally miffed. Why is he so mad? Can't see it. You can't see it. It's too small. There's not going to be any scaffolding for people to look at it and see what his art is about. So he throws this Michelangelo temper tantrum because everybody else was nude. Where does nudity come from? The Greeks. Okay, he's doing it again. Antiquity, Christianity. We need to remember our roots and be better people. Okay. Remembering that this is called the Last Judgment. Christ in the center. This is right arm up. It's Judgment Day. So everybody on the right-hand side is going to heaven.
אלה הציורים שמיכלנג'לו צייר בקפלה הסיסטינית.
Straight to hell, right, okay. This person is always confusing to people. People are always concerned about him. His name is Saint Bartholomew. Bartholomew was killed. He has a knife in one hand, some skin in his other hand. Anybody guess how he was killed? Skinned. Skinned, yes, he was skinned. What you need to know at this point is that throughout the Renaissance times, it was strictly forbidden from artists, from the Vatican, for artists to sign their pieces, okay? The reason that the Vatican gave was because it was a sin of vanity. The real reason was because art wasn't about the artist. Art was about the patron. So Pope Paul III is getting really anxious and just wants to know what's going on inside of his Sistine Chapel. So Pope Paul III goes to his right-hand man, Your name is Biagio Cesena.
Sure.
Okay, everybody say, hi, Biagio. Hi, Biagio. So he says, Biagio, I don't want to suffer the wrath of Michelangelo, so I want you to sneak inside, look at the back wall, and come back to me with a report of what it looks like. Of course, Biagio's like...
כנסייה לסנט אנג'לו. כאן ליאונרדו דה וינצ'י.
אוזנייה אחת להצמיד לזה, ואז כל מה שהיא אומרת אתה תשמע.
זהו, אני לא יודע.
הבנת? אחת תצמיד למצלמה. איפה בו שומעים? זה הרמקול? אבל שאני לסל אותו. יש לך פלסטר פה? פלסטר יש לך פה?
Copy who? The Greeks, exactly. So this is actually an early Roman copy of what a Greek had previously done. It is a very, very easy way you can tell that, of course, I will teach you. See the arm sticking out? The drapery over the arm? People look at that and they go, oh, that's straight, that's clothing, he's Roman. Okay, he's Roman, he's nude, okay? But you do have to look at that arm and the drapery. You have to remember that it's not an arm, it's a drapery. Trying to get ahead of this group. Please join me on the Once that group leaves, we're going to sort of scooch on in there so you guys can get a really good... It depicts a scene from Homer's Iliad. Anybody read Homer's Iliad? The epic poem? If you've never read it, or if it's been a while...
זה נקרא לקון.
One of the first pieces they acquired. It had no arms. They commissioned the same man responsible.
דינה שאלה למה יש להם כל כך קטן.
די.
doba. Svi prikazi njegovi vode poreklo odavde.
Alright guys, this is a miniature Pantheon. This obviously is an inspiration of the Pantheon. There's plenty of space over there as well. This is an inspiration of the Pantheon. Out of the walkway. This basin in the middle of the floor is one of the things I like to talk about. This basin, who's been to the Colosseum? I think almost all of you have been to the Colosseum, yes. So you've heard about the Palace of Nero, the Golden House of Nero? This comes from that palace. Okay? Yes, indeed. This is a monolithic basin. Monolithic is a term that means carved out of one solid chunk of stone. Okay? We believe that this used to be a bathtub for one of Nero's wives. Nero had 5 wives at the same time. Guys are like, yeah, 5 wives, same time. They don't know that 3 of the wives were women. Oh. And then the other 2 were. Figure that out. Anyway.
אבל יש פה אחריות, לא? אתה יכול לפנות
זה
לקברה.
בסדר, זה רק...
לא, זה שנפתח. זה נראה לה... כמו הסקפת. קצת תעצור לתמונות שזה יתפוס. אל תרוץ. ישר.
הכל מזכוכית. מיכלאנג'לו צייר את זה על הזכוכית.
הפלאש זה הורס? למה הם לא מרשים פלאש?
כן, זה נכון.
Please come forward, folks. You guys stay right there for me, okay? I'm trying to get forward. This is a piece that we're resurrection. See there, see there. Okay, this is resurrection of Christ. See that? Standing. Here's the stone pointed. Hold you guys. Okay, now take a close look at his feet. I would take a picture now. Take a close look at his feet. Look at his knees. Now his body. Now his hands. Oops, no flash, please. No flash. All right, now we're gonna walk by him, okay?
What's the
walk by
flash?
him, not too fast, not just walk by. His feet. His knees. Everything has shifted. I'll take a picture now. Put masks on.